Good afternoon, everyone. Um, Once again, my name is Lafayette, and this is my channel where we gotta make it make sense. Let's make it make sense. So I've shared a few videos about some of my understandings and takes on this current reality that we're all experiencing right now. Excuse me. And so now I feel I'll go a little bit deeper, and I would like to share some encounters that I've had with some of my family from the angelic realm. So when I talk about these particular encounters that I've had, I like to refer to these three particular encounters as like Scrooge in the story of Scrooge, and he had the three visitors, the ghosts of Christmas present, Christmas past, and Christmas future. Well, it was something like that. Like they weren't in the past, present, and future. All of them were very present, right? But yeah, it was something like that. That's how I've always felt. Like it always reminded me of that. I got visited 3 different times by 3 different angelic beings, which I've come to learn are in my family line, my soul tribe, but they're my family. Like one of them made known to me that he was my uncle. I'm not quite sure exactly the relationship of the other two, but since they were all in succession, I believe that we are all tied on the spiritual realm in some type of family construct, and that was the purpose of them coming to engage with me to assist me from my deep state of slumber and to help me start waking back up to a realization of who I am and what it is that I am supposed to be doing. Like it was time for me to wake up. So my first encounter happened, and this happened. The first encounter happened, I say, probably around this time, around the end of 2020, right? These events happened around the end of 2020 to like maybe the middle of 2021, where I had these 3 encounters by these angelic beings, right? Pardon me. So the first one I've come to learn, his name was Nitirius, right? So one random day, I'm just living, my regular, normal, everyday life, and I happen to be around the Broadway area. I was taking my brother. I went to go get my brother, and I was taking him up to the phone store to pay his phone bill. I had no idea what was about to unfold this night. So, regular routine thing, go get my brother. We go to the phone store, and he goes inside to pay his phone bill. It's kind of like maybe like 7 o'clock, 6:37, somewhere around there in the evening. So while he's inside the store, I'm sitting in my truck, whatever I'm doing, listening to music or whatever. And all of a sudden, I start feeling this sensation, right? Strange, but it was familiar because in my first video that I put up on this channel, I talked about how I died for a day and met God. And then I went through the whole process of how that ended up taking place. So this feeling that I started to feel was similar to the feeling that I had felt that time. And it triggered in my mind, like I just started feeling like it felt like something was approaching me. I felt something coming. I didn't see anything. I was parked in my truck in the parking lot waiting on my brother to come out the store, but I had this sensation that something was coming, right? So I don't know what's going on. I started to get a little bit nervous because I wasn't sure if I was about to have another one of those experiences that I had when I died for a day and met God, right? So all of a sudden, this sensation, it becomes very overwhelming. And next thing I know, it's like I feel something. I feel something like come over me, and it's like I don't know. It's like it was grabbing me or trying to wrestle me. It was something on me. You know, I couldn't see anything. There was no physical being here, but I felt and I sensed something was on me, right? So I kind of panicked at the time because, like I said, I didn't know what was going on. I thought that I was being attacked. That's what I thought. That was the initial thing that came to my mind. Is like, oh, what's going on, man? Like something was attacking me, and so this being, you know, was all over me, and it felt like it was trying to like lift me and move me and like twist me and all kind of, you know, stuff. And I'm fighting back, like, man, what, you know, like, what's going on? What is this? And so on and so forth. So in the midst of me wrestling with this angelic being, and I'll get to how I figured out who and what it was after the story. But in the midst of me wrestling, you know, with this being that I couldn't see, I felt it was just on me. My brother comes back out the store. And so I kind of have an awareness of my brother, you know what I'm saying? Because he comes to the truck. And, you know, me and him ended up talking about this later, and he gave me a better understanding of exactly what he saw from, you know, his side of things. Because I was in the midst of, you know, trying to, I don't know, just keep this thing or get this thing above me. I had no idea what it was. So, you know, and he comes over to the driver's side of the truck, you know, because I guess he said my door, later on he said my doors was locked, but my windows was cracked a little bit. And so he was yelling in, bruh, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? And he said he was trying to open the door, but I guess the doors were locked. You know, he said he was trying to open the driver's side door, but it was locked. And he said at the time when he came to the driver's side door, you know, I was there and it looked like I was wrestling with something or whatever. So he like, by the time he came to the door and seen me in there wrestling with something and seen that the door was locked, he run back around and try to go to the passenger door to see if the passenger door was unlocked, right? And he says by the time that he made it around to the passenger door, I had totally switched positions in the driver's seat. At first, I was sitting upright. And, you know, I guess I was wrestling or stressed, whatever I was doing with this being. And then he said by the time he made it around to the passenger side of the truck and looked in and was trying to open the door, I had totally changed position and I was like upside down. And my head and shoulders and stuff was down by the by the brakes and the gas pedal, and my feet was up to the roof. Like I had did a total flip. Like I was sitting upright like this when he was on the driver's side trying to open, and it was locked. And by the time he made it around to the passenger side and tried to open and look in, I had did a whole flip where now my head and my shoulders were down by the brake pedals and gas pedals, and my feet was up to the ceiling, like kicking at the ceiling. I was upside down, and that's crazy, right? And so he said, so he couldn't get in the passenger side, and so when he saw me flipped upside down, totally opposite of what I just was in that quick little second, so he come back around to the driver's side. And when he made it back around to the driver's side where I was at, he said, now I was on the passenger side. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even in the driver's side no more. Somehow I didn't got snatched over or moved over, whatever. Now I'm on the passenger side of my truck. You know what I'm saying? And and I was back upright, but I was on the passenger side. And so while all this is going on, the only awareness that I have is that something is trying to like move me or open me up or like twist me and turn me. I felt like I was being twisted and turned and kind of broken up. Honestly, I felt like I was being twisted and like snapped and popped and like broken up. I was very much under the impression that this was some type of demonic attack. That's what I thought. I thought I was under attack because I felt like I was being twisted and turned and snapped and popped and just all kind of unnatural things my body was being exposed to. And so my brother comes back around to the passenger side again, and somehow now the door is open. He said he opened the door, and I kind of fall out. I fall out onto the ground, right? And so now I'm on the ground outside of my truck, and there's people all around. There's people around, looking and pull their phones out and whatever, because he says he hears me talking and I'm saying something, but he really couldn't make clear sense of what it was I was saying. He said he just caught parts and pieces of it, like I was saying something about God and things along those lines, as I was on the ground, like really struggling, trying to fight whatever this was that was on me, right? And so this lasted a few minutes. It probably lasted about 5 minutes maybe altogether from beginning to end. And then I remember him, being there over me trying to, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you good? Like shake it off, or what's up? Like, come on, get up, and all that. And I remember when whatever this event was that just had took place, when it was over, I remember feeling kind of, I don't know how I felt. It was just the weirdest thing. I just felt like, it just felt eerie. Like I said, I didn't have no clear understanding of what just happened at this particular moment in time. And so after it was all over and done with, I get back, my brother helped me get up, and I get in the passenger side of my truck. He like, man, I'm gonna drive. I'll drive back to my house, you know what I'm saying? And while you kind of recoup, I don't want you driving. I'm like, all right, cool. So, he helps me get into the passenger seat of my truck. He gets in the driver's seat, and we drive off. So now that this event is over with, as we driving back to his house, to drop him back off, I'm sitting there and I'm just, I'm slowly but surely coming back to myself and my senses. And I'm like, damn, what in the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he telling me, man, bro, you about to be on World Star. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody was outside and they all had their phones out and they recording and whatever. I'm like, man, I don't care nothing about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out what just happened and why just happened. You know what I'm saying? So by the time we get back to his house, which was only, a few minutes down the street, I was back. I done gathered myself and I was back into my normal state of being. And he asked me like, man, you want to chill for a little bit? Are you cool? You know what I'm saying? The drive and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I'm back cool now. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go ahead and go to the house. I ain't about to chill. I'm good. I appreciate the assist and all that. I'll talk to you later. You know what I'm saying? So at this time, I had a friend of mine, that was say very, very spiritually inclined. She was very tuned in with the spiritual side of things, and she had a very high awareness and gift of being able to communicate with guides and guardians. And actually, I had came to find out that we shared, some of the same guides and guardians, because some of my guides or some of my guardians would use her to pass along messages to me at the earlier stages of my awakening, because I wasn't receptive to their communication yet. And so after this particular event just happened, that was the first place, that was the only place that was on my mind was, man, I'm about to go down here and I'm about to have a talk with her and see if she can help me figure out what the hell just happened, right? So after I drop my brother off, I go over, my friend's house, and pretty much before I could even say anything, when I came in, she had a look on her face, like she already had awareness that something, supernatural just happened with me. So I come in, I'm all like, man, I think I just got jumped. You know what I'm saying? I think I just got jumped by a spirit. Spirit just jumped me. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. So, so she's sitting there, and she like, nah, you ain't get jumped, right? So I'm like, she like, nah, that was Niterius. She's the one that gave me the name of the being that I just encountered. And so we sat down and she ended up, giving me a understanding of what just happened. Cause see, she was connected with Niterius too. Like I said, we shared the same soul tribe. I guess you can call it, cause when I met her, that's how I met her. Somehow we were, brought together and we had mutual spiritual connections, in the spirit realm. So she like, yeah, that was Niterius. And I'm like, man, I felt like, in the exorcism where when she get to breaking all up and her body get to going ways it ain't supposed to go, and like the head turn all the way around, and I'm like, I felt like that's what was going on with me. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was being broke up and apart and all that. And she like, no. She like, that was Niterius. And Niterius actually just came down to inspect you. You know what I'm saying? To come and see, to check you out. And when you started resisting, that's why it became, as physical as it was, because, whatever the reason, he could have chose different time, place, or whatever to come and contact me or connect with me or whatever. But like I said, I didn't know what was going on. So of course I'm resisting. I'm fighting back. Like, oh man, what? Get off me. Like, what is this? Like, I'm no. What the hell is going on? And so she like, yeah, he came and he was inspecting me because so I happen to be, uh, everybody knows that we are all spiritual beings incarnated in these physical vessels having a human experience. Now, I found out along the way that I happen to be from the angelic realm and I'm a cherubim, right? I'm a cherubim. And that's an angelic order, of heaven. You got the seraphim, you got the cherubim, you got the archangels, you got the regular angels, you got, the whole line. And I happen to be from the cherubim line. So, Niterius, from my awareness that was given, came and he was like trying to like lift my arms or whatever and be like, man, where's your wings? And, so on and so forth. He was inspecting me. He was coming to inspect me and he wasn't seeing whatever it was that I suppose he was expecting to see. But what he was doing ultimately, it was he was coming to do an inspection of my physical vessel. But by me not having awareness of what was going on, I was fighting back. And see, when you fight back, instead of going along with the energy that creates a friction, and that friction is what I was experiencing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me just calming myself, becoming still, and getting in the flow of things to where it would have been less, traumatic, I was resisting, and that caused the whole thing. So, like I said, I found out later on that Niterius is from my soul tribe. At some point in line, somewhere in there, he's closely connected to my family on the spiritual side of things. And so it was like, yeah, he came to do an inspection, and that was my first encounter with an angelic being physically, like literally, while I'm in a physical form, while I was awake. Not me being unconscious or in a sleep state. No, a physical engagement with an angelic being that came maybe to test my dexterity and to, kind of check me out, or to restructure some things in my physical body. I don't know, because like I said, I felt like I was broken up and snapped and popped and all that. Like even my fingertips, you know what I'm saying? I felt like each fingertip was like tsh, 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 because all my fingertips was even sore. You know what I'm saying? That night when I went over there or whatever. But when I woke up the next day, everything was fine. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have an ache. I didn't have a soreness. Everything went away. And I was fine. So this was my first encounter of the 3 that I would experience, and I didn't know that I would experience. But that night didn't stop there. So I was there, and as I stated earlier, me and her shared, spiritual, we have a spiritual connection to where we have a lot of the same members or the same tribe. So Niterius came back to her residence where we were at and made himself known that he was there, because he came to see if I was feeling some type of way, if I was vibrating out, some negative type of energies about the encounter that was just had. This really woke me up to a level of awareness about interactions with spiritual beings, because I've never experienced nothing like this before. But how this played out is, Niterius was like, she told me that he was wondering like if I was upset with him, or did I feel some type of way, or was I mad at him, or whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, yeah, I was a little bit put off about the encounter because at first I didn't appreciate that wasn't that wasn't the greatest experience at that particular point in time. And so yeah, you know what I'm saying, I felt a little bit of a type of way towards him, but I was trying to pretend as if I didn't. And see, spirit reads energy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do. You can say what you want to say, but what you vibrating out, you know what I'm saying? That's the truth teller. And I suppose I know it ain't I suppose. And so I was vibrating out one thing because yeah, I did feel some type of way about that encounter. Like, hold up, man, damn, like you just gonna bum rush me and twist me and turn me and you know all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I felt some type of way. I ain't gonna. I felt some type of way. So he was there, and so I got another lesson. You know, on our relationship and how I'm supposed to vibrate. You know, with my brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, who whatever setup he fall up under, you know, is never supposed to be no negative vibrations towards each other because he didn't come to hurt me or anything like that. And that was the awareness that I needed to receive. Now, yeah, maybe the way that he decided to go about introducing or in his introduction to me was maybe a little bit rough. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't no negative or ill thing. It was just that's just him. You know, he's a particular type of energy, and you know, that's that. You know what I'm saying? So he was in the house and I felt him. You know what I'm saying? I felt him. And so at the time it was an episode of SpongeBob playing on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know I bring my inner child out a lot. She always brings her inner child out, and she had a son there also. You know, that was young, and you know he liked to watch cartoons and stuff. So SpongeBob was on the TV, and so for whatever reason or not, my mind, you know, was drawn like, look at the TV. You know, it was whispered to me, it was told to me, like, look at the TV. And so I look at the TV and I'm looking at this SpongeBob show. Now it was a character it was an episode of SpongeBob where he was in the classroom. Right? He was in the classroom with the fish teacher, and SpongeBob was looking. He was all small and sitting in his chair, and sitting right next to him was like this big. I don't know what kind of fish or whatever it was, but it was huge. You know, this was them telling me like this is him and SpongeBob is me. Now SpongeBob was very small, you know what I'm saying, and looking all scary and annoyed and stuff next to this other character that was sitting next to him. And this character had 3 eyes. You know what I'm saying? It had an eye here, and one in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And so, and he looking at SpongeBob like this, and I'm hearing like, so you feel some type of way, and I'm like, no, you know, I'm trying to lie, but it's like what I was thinking was being played out on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Because SpongeBob sitting there looking all timid and you know, and the big thing next to him looking at him like, man, yeah, you feel some type of way? And I'm like, no, you know, and as I'm, you know, thinking of him, it's just so crazy. I've never experienced nothing like this ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? And that just goes to show that when spirit when your guardians, your guides, your soul tribe want to communicate with you and make sure that like they can do it through multiple ways, because everything is, as it is understood, is vibration and frequency. And so what is a TV? Of course TV is just a receptor for frequencies and frequencies, vibrations, what I'm saying, and things like that. So it was just so crazy to me, because this kind of went on for a minute, and it had me in my feelings for real, because I was really feeling the pressure of Night Sirius on me. You know what I'm saying? And then to visually be watching it on the TV, you know what I'm saying? Where I couldn't see him physically, but on the TV, he was right there as the bigger, the bigger being that was looking at me, small little SpongeBob Timothy, looking at me like, man, what's up? You know what I'm saying? You feeling some type of way? Do you? And I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? But I did. And I know this is probably one of the strangest stories that anybody can ever hear, but I've had some encounters. I've had some things that I've been exposed to where, yes, it defies logic. You can't come into the spiritual realm trying to use a logical mind. It's not gonna work. Like I tell people all the time, if you call yourself wanting to take a spiritual journey, first thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to believe in magic. You gotta believe in magic. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. It's a magical realm. You know what I'm saying? You got fairies, you got unicorns, you got dragons, you got all of these mythological beings and creatures that we were talking about. They're not myths. You know what I'm saying? They're actually real. And that's why they tell you have to be, in a childlike essence in order to enter the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because children, they believe in everything. And so they know. You know what I'm saying? Because they still pure at heart. They don't have the harsh realities of the world block them off from having that awareness of being able to see and commune with the divine. And so, yeah, but that story, like I said, we was on TV, and this kind of went on for a minute, and it wasn't scary, but it was just strange. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've never experienced something like that, and for me to be sitting there, and they was in the room too. Like she saw it too. You know what I'm saying? They was sitting there. We was all in the front room. Because, like I said, I came down there to talk to her about what had happened. And then she explained to me and she relayed a couple messages about, what had just happened with me. And it's just, I would never forget this. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me an understanding of how magical and how real, that God is. And if, for whatever reason, you need to be communicated with, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be communicated with. And they did it with me through the like I said, I didn't know what was going on at first, so they did it through me, and then they knew that I had this connection with my friend and that she would be able to help me put the pieces of the puzzle together and give me some clarity. And then he did the encore, which was, the whole him and me in the classroom, and him like the big homie, you know what I'm saying, and I'm a little SpongeBob down here, like all timid and like, man, yeah, don't be vibrating out no negative energies, with my name attached to it, you know what I'm saying, and we can figure out whatever we gonna figure out right now, because we need to go ahead and get an understanding and get past this, and I'm like, no, big homie, I ain't, I love you. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know it was you. All I knew was that something was trying to, I don't know, I just felt pressure on me. You know what I'm saying? And so, of course, my natural instinct is to fight back. Like, oh, hold on, man. What is this? Like, but now that I'm understanding the what and the why of it, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Bygones be bygones. I'm not about to move forward holding no type of feeling towards you or whatever. I understand. And cool. And now I'm actually feel a lot better about it because I'm feeling blessed. Because for who am I to have an encounter with a divine being of light, you know, to come and physically engage with me for whatever reasons, you know? And so after that, I was still continuing to try to figure out exactly all of the what's and whys for that encounter. I'm still not 100% sure, but I think my personal thought is I think that he came and reconstructed like some things inside of my body to be able to take in and hold more light or energy or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Like he did something with my body because like I said, I was sore. It felt like he was breaking and twisting and all of that. But the next day, nothing. I had not an ache or pain or whatever. Something. He did something. I'm not sure exactly what or why, but it's for my benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's for my benefit and it's for me as I'm moving forward to continue to be able to move and take in these energies and, you know, be able to receive more light. You know what I'm saying? Like consume more light. And so, you know, that was my first encounter with a angelic being that was sent to engage with me. And that was a very, very that was a very special time. Like I said, every time I think about it right now, you know, these few years later, it's just all I could do is smile. And I send thoughts out every time I ride past that place over there on Broadway where I was at when he came and engaged with me. I always send up like serious, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up, big homie? And all that. And yeah. So that was my first encounter with a spiritual angelic being. And I have two more encounters that happened next that I will share shortly. And you know, I just want to share with y'all like this stuff is real. God is real, angels is real, spirit is real. And when it's time for you to wake up, you know, they have a way of coming and ringing that alarm clock for you and making sure that you don't hit the snooze button. Because I believe also that was a main part of the reason of the three of them coming to visit me is because after the first one, a little bit of time went back and I'm back asleep. I'm back out in the world. You know, that's starting to become just something that happened back then, and I'm back in the world doing what I'm doing. I'm still smoking, drinking, running around, doing whatever, and I'm sure they like, oh, okay, oh, you ain't getting the memo, huh? Okay, we got you. So next video I'll share my second encounter, which was, yeah, y'all really gonna think that this one is crazy, but I'm here as a living testament that, you know, it is what it is, and for whatever reason that's how spirit has decided to work with me, and so I'll share these revelations with you. So until the next time, I love y'all. May peace be unto you, and love and light.